Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the Quick Take. We have some massive news coming out today, coming out from Matt Law. Breaking, Mauricio Pochettino has left Chelsea FC. It's over. Poch has now left Chelsea at the end of the season. He did have another year left on his contract with an option to extend it for a further year. That has now completely collapsed. He has left Chelsea. The Argentinian will be at Chelsea no more, and we will be having a brand new manager on the touchline next season. I will get into the names in just a second. The other day, we did have a news report regarding who the likely candidates would be if Poch would be sacked, and it did look like we were not going to be looking for experienced managers. We had this from Fabrizio Romano yesterday. If Pochettino leaves, Chelsea will go for a young coach. That has now been reposted by Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea would not go for an experienced coach. Now, I'm going to give my full thoughts on the Poch sacking right now. Honestly, I would have liked it to have gone a little bit better this season. We started the season terribly. We obviously picked up a lot of good form and picked up a lot of points after Boxing Day, after that dreadful result against Wolves. But I have for a long time now, ever since that first Manchester United game where we were just completely blown out of the water by an out of form, really terrible. We have in fact finished higher than Man United. We just looked absolutely clueless against a weakened, terrible Manchester United side. From that point on, I knew it was wraps, and then obviously the losses to Middlesbrough. Everything that transpired, Brentford, Burnley, Sheffield United, and it does seem like the managers, it does seem like the board, Winstanley, Stewart, and the owners have looked at this entire situation using the bigger picture. As I said, not focusing on the last few games to determine his future, they have looked at the pre-season issues. We have this here. In the view of key figures at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's season, viewed as a whole, fell short of pre-season expectations and raised issues such as the crippling injury list. Now, a lot of the injury issues, some have put that down to Pochettino's relentless and famous training methods. We all know about I think it's pronounced the Gaycon test, where it's basically the bleep test on steroids. Not a fun thing for anyone to go through, especially if you're trying to negate injuries. And we also had some rumours, I think, coming out from Alex Goldberg. Again, he does have sources inside the club regarding how Chelsea would train extensively right before games, whereas a lot of other teams, they may just do little training drills here and there the day or two before a big game, just to try and stay sharp. You've already got the fitness to perform at that level in the game. There's not much you can really gain from running yourself into the ground 24 to 48 hours before a game. But that is what we were doing, and because of that, we have had a season filled to the brim with injuries. I think we've had the most amount of injuries out of any team in this season in the Premier League. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Again, I have been Poch out for a while. His comments have also not filled me with hope. The almost unwillingness to really embed himself into the Chelsea family, where other managers like Tuchel, he really understood what it meant to build that connection with the fans. I just don't think Poch ever really tried. We do have the potential list of next managers for Chelsea, and they are here. Sebastian Hoeneß of Stuttgart, Michel of Girona, Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich manager who has been linked to Chelsea in recent days, and Enzo Maresca, the current Leicester City manager. Now, out of those two names there are only two managers I would pick, and that would be either Michel from Girona or my personal pick from these names mentioned, Sebastian Hoeneß of Stuttgart. Of course, Stuttgart have had an incredible season. They finished second in the Bundesliga ahead of Bayern Munich, and you could even say if Bayer Leverkusen didn't go on this incredible season where they are still unbeaten, by the way. It's nearly June. They are still undefeated. They have obviously won the league, undefeated. They've got the Europa League final coming up to maybe get another European trophy or add the European trophy to their success this season. Again, Sebastian Hoeneß. I've actually compared using Data MB, Girona and Stuttgart this season, and what it shows you is it shows you the amount of goals they're scoring, the attacking output, possession, counter-attacks, the defensive press, physicality, so amount of duels won, that kind of stuff, and pressing. Now, Girona are in blue, Stuttgart are in pink, and as you can see, Stuttgart are standing ahead of Girona for basically every single stat except for pressing, where it is literally a 0.8 percentile difference. They are smashing them for physicality, they're smashing them for defending, they're smashing them for counters, they're smashing them for possession, they're smashing them for attacking, and they're pretty much even for goals. That is why Sebastian Hoeneß, out of those names there, he is my ideal pick. I quite like German managers. I don't know why, but I see Hoeneß and I see a young Jurgen Klopp. That is just off the top of my head. I'm probably talking out of my, well, you already know where I'm talking out of when I'm saying that. But I'm very excited, of course. It's a big day. Mauricio Pochettino has now left Chelsea. I'm seeing Ruben Amorim is now trending on Twitter. He is another name who I would also love to see at Chelsea. And we did have a news report the other day, although it was discounted by David Ornstein a couple of weeks ago, that if we were to move on from Poch, then Amorim would not be a name we would look at. I just still think that we could probably do quite well bringing in Amorim. Of course, winning the league. He's won league titles, other trophies. He reminds me a lot of, not in terms of personality, but in terms of his accomplishments in the Portuguese league, Liga NOS, whatever you want to call it. His accomplishments are pretty similar to Jose Mourinho's when he was at Porto before he came to Chelsea. I quite like Ruben Amorim, but of course he has not been mentioned in this shortlist. It does look like it is between, as I said, if we really want to push for the best out of that short list of names, it will be either Sebastian Hoeneß or it will be Michel. Unfortunately, Thiago Motta of Bologna is not mentioned. I also do quite like him, but this is a big day for Chelsea. We also have this from Matt Law. There were no disagreements over who should be in charge of transfers or which players should or should not be sold. The differences are explained as being more philosophical and relate to the dynamic of working within a club structure. It sounds a bit like waffle to me. Sorry. Internal meetings decided it. Players are disappointed Pochettino has left. Honestly, player power, I don't want player power to really be a thing. I think it's best that the decisions in terms of the footballing side are left down to those who are in charge and not, as I said, player power. In fact, I don't even think Chelsea has that many players who can really have that much of a say. It's not like the days when we had Frank Lampard, John Terry and Didier Drogba deciding which managers stay and which managers go. You know, legendary players who were Chelsea through and through. A lot of these players are young. They still need to prove themselves. They still need to win major trophies with Chelsea to cement themselves as idols, to cement themselves as icons in this Chelsea side. But in my opinion, I actually thought there was a very good chance he would walk. It has been said, as I said by this report by Matt Law, it wasn't down to transfers, which players will be sold, which players will be bought. I actually thought it would be regarding that. We had the news stories recently that he wants more say in the transfers going forward. That, of course, does mean players being sold. And, of course, we are looking to sell Conor Gallagher this summer. Pochettino's golden boy this season, of course, really connecting his football of being that transitional side that gets stuck in the opponent's half. Conor Gallagher played a big part in that, and with Pochettino going, I do think that this is the end of Conor Gallagher, and this is probably the end of the likes of Trevor Chalobah and even Marc Cucurella, who, although experienced a lot of good form towards the end of the season regarding his inverting role. Coming into the next season, we will have a fully fit Enzo Fernandez back, not playing with a hernia anymore, fully fit, ready to go, coming into a new system. And whether or not Cucurella will be as effective, as I said, playing in that natural left back position and not inverting, we'll see what happens with Cucurella and the left-back situation going forward. Lots and lots of big things are happening today at Chelsea. As I said, once again, Pochettino leaves Chelsea via mutual consent. It is over between the Argentinian and the London Football Club. Let me know your thoughts on the news today. Do you think this is the correct decision? Poch in, Poch out. How are you feeling? Who do you think will be the next manager? Do you think it'll be Sebastian Hoeneß? Do you think it'll be the Girona manager, Michel? Do you think it'll be the Leicester manager, Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich manager? Or do you think it'll be someone that's not been mentioned yet? As I said, Ruben Amorim. I quite like Ruben Amorim. I'd love to see him at Chelsea, but it does look like out of all those names there, Sebastian Hoeneß is my #1 pick to become the next Chelsea manager, and I will be doing a manager breakdown. As always, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I've been The Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.